We all have been waiting for Mr. Ghosh to come here, and he is already here. He needs no introduction, you all know him. After so many years, after ages, that someone from Bengal has set up a full-fledged banking operation, born out of Bengal, and then it has branched out all over the country. But the best part of it, Meghdud was also mentioning about the true essence of Bengali, how a Bengali is. When he says Bengali and when I am referring to Bengali, we all talk about domicile Bengali. Mr. Ghosh is also an epitome of true Bengali gentleman. He is like how you describe a Bengali. So without wasting any more time, I think we all have been waiting here patiently to hear his keynote address. He has not only set up this brand, now he has been working and striving relentlessly to create the next generation of entrepreneurs by way of the banking services being provided to them, which is a key sector for bringing up more and fresh entrepreneurs. So over to Mr. Ghosh.
Thank you. It's my honor and privileged I am invited in here. And thank you to all of the organizer and delegates of this evening. So I think there is sometimes the talk is a little bit more. I'm not like on that. I can be like to mention the point is that entrepreneurs. What is this? Everyone know that. Someone will be like to define as an entrepreneur who will take the risk and who will success with his own capital. That we will like to give entrepreneurs. What I relate to my side, I started this organization, its name is a Bandhan. Before that I worked at NGO, monthly salary, good work, there is no more accountability, go to the field, meet the people, educate them to the health and education. That's good, very good life. And one day I decided on that. What is the basic need of the people? The basic need of the people, we talk much more. Point. 5 basic points. But I find out from my experience, the basic need is an income. And if any family, they got an income, other all basic, they can be like to provide. Like on that, if any person have the income, they have not need the advice. Their children will go to the private school or government school or IIT or IIM. They can decide. If they have the income, they can decide they will go to this the health care to public hospital or Apollo. They can decide. There are key factors of the people decision if they have the enough income, and that income is sustained. It's not in a suddenly has come and again go down. So for that reason I left my job and started as an organization named NGO. Today maybe we cannot be like to feel it, the NGO can become as a bank. That time I have not thought about the bank. And this is my point is there when I take this decision as a NGO to provide the credit to the low income people. Every people are against me. Banks say that they will eat the money, they will not return back. And family feel that the permanent job you are living and going to uncertainty. This is called the risk. So I relate on that. Entrepreneurs, if anyone have been like to go to start a new business, which is high risk, is a best entrepreneur. when he success. Second point, when I started it, after my family, all of my friends and relatives far away from me. Because every people feel that I maybe ask the money from them. And they will not like to touch it. But when I success as an entrepreneur, I have lots of friends and relatives, which I have not know them, but they say that I am your relative. So this is a successful entrepreneur's reward. We say that. So that take the risk, even Indian bank are not giving the fund. Then I go to the money lenders. So taking a loan from money lenders, 7.5% per month interest, to like to prove in the eye of the bank that this is the best model to provide the financial services to low income, and they will 100% return back. So if I not take that money, and if I not prove to them in the eye of the banker, so I will not get the money from bank. So my second point of that, when the anyone is taken a risk on their own fund, entrepreneurs cannot be get fund from the bank or others. Their fund will be like to own fund, own risk, success and get the reward, and then entrepreneurs. So we are feeling in this position that I am a startup. I need a fund. So banker not giving the funding. This is a normal case. So startup has need to success his model. It is financially viable. It has been demand fulfilled to the large number of people. Some innovativeness is there. So then it will be like to take by the funder, and they will be to keep the fund. So this is when I first the proof on that taking a loan from money lenders and proved this model, and automatically one bank to another bank automatically has come on that. And once upon a time what's happened, bank is sitting in my office with their guarantee and the papers for signing 31st of March at night 8 to 12. You take this money. This is a check, this is a paper, you sign. Because it is a successful model. So before the successful model, it was not. So it is the time of this, taking the risk and successfully build up a model, that is a challenge. And if it is a challenge over, then funding is not the issue, reward is not the issue, and the keynote speaker is not the issue. All you will be get done. So all are depend on that. And so that now another way on that. What is the enterprise? This enterprise should be innovative, which earlier no one had been like to do in this way. And if it is like to another way, I say that the small is beautiful, big is necessary. So if it is a scale, if it is a big, then success is more, because the more large number of people will be get the benefit. So if it is a small, one branch or some few people we are doing it, is not in a successful entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs must be a model will be successfully, it will be scale. And that scale is needed for our country because we have the 130 crores population. So my learning of that, the first criteria of the entrepreneurs will be like to must be real estate. I feel that my son will be not real estate. He will be not entrepreneur. Because he already in that success. No. So need on that the entrepreneur, they should be feel it. I like to establish my life with a new enterprise which need for large number of people, and I will take that risk and I will succeed. And if I say that no, I have the backup support, very tough to success of this risk. No. I give another example, you may be like to relate on that. One person is a first completed graduation and going to get a job, and he gave the interview. His whole night have been studied. Last means in the 7 days or 8 days, the day night study, and given the interview for get the job. He must be success to get that job. If 2 times he has been failed to get the job, 3rd time his hardship will be like to more than the first time. But if who have already have the job, if he is going to give the interview, he is not taking any of the preparation. He is going, my job is there. If they will not give it, fine, I am fine. So this like on that, the entrepreneurs should be like to first time, they are driving to do something for survival of themselves. It's a very tough call the first time. And then if it's a tough call, and success percentage is very high. If it's a less tough call, okay, fine, I can try, cannot do it. So finally, I mentioned in the many times, every people are feel about the PhD, the doctorate degree. I have the one different doctorate degree, I feel. The one entrepreneurs have the doctorate degree, which is that they called PhD. The abbreviation is different. P means that he must be a patient. H means he must be a hard worker. And D means he is a dedicated. So if he is a passion, hard work and dedication, he will be success in his enterprise. Is their own confidence. Otherwise, it's very tough to success on that. But after the success, I also can mention on that, is a lots of happiness, reward, and feel very good on that. This is my point. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much for sharing that fascinating story. I know for sure that at some point of time, he used to sit before a bank manager's room and he was not allowed an entry inside. He spoke about dedication, patience, and then the T stands for dedication. There is another thing is tenacity. So he had that tenacity as well, and he used to sit outside that bank manager's chamber. After a few months, maybe, he was planning to scale up at that point of time, and he needed some funds from that branch. So after waiting for 18 months, one day that branch manager came out of his chamber and he went forward and just said, "Can I have a glass of water?" So that was the entry point. No one can deny you a glass of water when you are thirsty. So he could enter into the room of that bank manager, and that was the beginning. The rest is history now. Probably that same bank manager would sit in his chamber for with that bank loan statement and everything agreement. Please sign some loan agreement with us or something like that. I would also like to take this opportunity in thanking Mrs. Ghosh. As we all know, that Bandhan is all about bridging the gap between the underbanked population and the banking facilities, which is in Bengali Setu Bandhan. So the name, many of the brands have fascinating stories of how a brand is being built. And here is a lady, Mrs. Ghosh, who had given this name. Again, the rest is history. So I have one point to ask Mr. Ghosh, since I have got this opportunity. Since you have gone through the pains and pangs of that a startup goes through, and now that you are at the helm of one of the largest banks in the country, funds, when all banks are going down, Bandhan is one of the banks we can take pride in. So now, do you have some special theme for startups or boosting or promoting the startup ecosystem? Do you have anything at the back of your mind?
No doubt, it's a question as many times I have been faced on this question because they felt that they ask me because you face the problem. So how you can be like to help the people, they will not face the problem. This is a correct point, no doubt. But I try to understand who is really has come for developing entrepreneurs. Because there is a need of that to prove to the bank's eyes that actually he has an intention and do it in a success. And it has a very high demand. And then it's not a problem, but the fund. So we are ready also to give that fund. I mentioned the one point in my earlier speech, like to prove to the banker of your own fund, your model is success. Then bank will become. Without fund, only the papers written on that. This is a proposal I like to get the money. No bank will become. You have not to any way take your own fund take risk. Then bank understand you take your risk from your own fund. Of course, your intention is rich. So then you will be like. And second point, I understand now. Banking point of view, regulator is very much strict structure. Should like to follow. Some percentage every bank are coming out from the structure, but not all. Because the bank have the some risk taking the framework. Where they are decided this much risk I can take from my bank. So accordingly, they will take on that, how much they will be given to this, the startup, and what types of startup, different types of startup have. So on that basis, and assess the risk of that startup, and accordingly fund. So Bandhan also doing that.
Some of you present here might go and wait in front of his office and maybe 18 months down the road ask for a glass of water and just see whether that works or not. At the beginning of this whole session, we were not there, but Sunilda was going to everyone and asking about who is a real entrepreneur. So everyone had a different answer, but he also explained someone who is willing to take risk. It's like, although in a different context, Swami Vivekananda used to say, Saddha Jo Siddha. One who can take the, who doesn't have the fear of losing, can actually become an entrepreneur. So Mr. Ghosh or Chandrasekhar, as many people affectionately call him, didn't have that fear of losing, so he could become what he is today. Without wasting any more time, I would like to call upon the next entrepreneur to narrate her story in front of none other than Mr. Ghosh himself, Monji Chatterjee, founder, director of Folk India Limited. She started with a unique model. She was developing some merchandise product for all the leading, you name an automobile company across the world. She was developing or getting the stuff developed by artisan craftsmen and all that after giving them training. And post-lockdown, she has developed a whole new model of designing for dignity. That's design for dignity. That's another unique model. So, Manjeet, you can narrate your story yourself.
Yeah. Can I talk without the mic, because I'm not used to talking to many audience, and especially I'm really nervous sitting just beside Mr. Ghosh.
Next time, Meghdut can describe another qualities of Bengali being omite.
Yeah, good one. But few things he just said, I cannot help. I was just thinking, oh my God, how can I not mention? Which is, I always believed, unless you have income, unless you have livelihood, you just cannot do anything. I mean, no matter how much you studied or have done whatever, we try to set so many things right, but unless you have livelihood set, you have a sustainable income, you really cannot survive. So what we did, we are still trying to do, is create livelihood, a sustainable livelihood. And as a person, I'm very impatient. So I could not sit for someone to get it right. So I set out to do this myself. So there is a huge, vast population who live by doing crafts and other things, especially in India or the countries like India. But how many people do buy craft? How many of you are wearing handloom here today? But if handloom is something to be owned for a very special occasion, then it cannot be a sustainable business out of it. No one can create sustainable business out of it. So what I tried to do, what as an organization we try to do, is try and make it as functional as possible, so that everyone, I would like to see everyone wearing handloom, going to office wearing handloom stuff. We try and set everything sorted to get that right. I mean, everyone say that it's a handloom cloth, you cannot wash it in washing machine. We say you wash it in washing machine. We should make the quality so right, it is not fray. It will just work as your Marks and Spencer shirt. That is what, so that we wear handloom, we wear all things made out of craft. Unless we could make it functional and usable for daily life, and we can create a market which is being sold through a market pool, it's not a sustainable business. So that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to create, our mission is to generate 100,000 livelihood through design and innovation. So I believe design has a huge potential to change that we want to see. So when I say design, it's not about colors and shapes. It's about making things right. It's the science of textile which you could incorporate in handloom or craft that we are, that we see ourselves surrounded by. So as a folk as in people, not in ethnicity or something. So at folk, we are trying to create a brand which is to the core, it's functional and usable in daily life. And unless a product is, each and every product is not unique. Equal in every sense. It's not transportable. It's not. You cannot send it, transport it globally. So all we are trying to do is making every product that we create as functional as possible, so that everyone could use those products in daily life, and we could create more livelihood out of it. So our business model is we skill train, because these people who are doing this craftsmanship, they have a mind block. They don't know what to make because they can't relate to our life. What is needed? What kind of product would be useful for our daily life? So what we do, we give them skill training and do some intervention with their with tools and techniques, so that the intrinsic part of the craft is there, but with the help of little tools